Hello everybody, my name is Cool Blue and I'm bringing out this video of me talking about some board games, and today I'm going to be talking about, as you can see by the title, the 20 Strong series. So this is a video, actually let me start my background music before I go. Alright, I want to give a disclaimer. Before I do this. So I'm not going to make this its own separate video series like I have done with a few other game series in the past, like the Railroad Tiles or Final Girl or even Sleeping Gods. But I will put this part of the Small Box Big Game series because I don't think I'm going to make it through the entire series. So that's a very harsh way to start things off. But I have some preconceptions, some preconceived notions, if you will, about the 20 Strong series. But as you can see, I like small box games, so I have all of them here, and I want to try to give it a fair shake. So what I plan to do with this series is first talk about where I'm starting with the 20 Strong series, and then talk about where things have kind of evolved a little bit for me, and then kind of, see if I can make it along and play through every single one of these games throughout a series of videos. Again, I'm not going to make its own playlist on YouTube. Those who are watching on Twitch, thank you for watching. I do have a YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/coolbluevlogs, that's CULBLUVLOGS. And those watching on YouTube, I do have a Twitch channel, so feel free to check me out there live streaming. That's twitch.tv/coolblue, CULBLU. But I'm saying all that in a long way to say that I'm not going to make a separate video series for this. This is going to be just part of Small Box Big Game. So, welcome to the Small Box Big Game. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video first is just to talk about everything and kind of establish where I'm starting from and where I think things are going to head based on my most recent experience of replaying through some of the 20 Strong games. So first and foremost, starting off, I know it took me a long while to get here, but I have not played through every single one of these. The only two that I have played through, as in I played a full game of them, I either won or lost. Actually, in both these games, I've won and lost in both of them. But the only two that I played through are the Tanglewoods Gold and the Solar Sentinels. That's why they're first on the list. Actually, it's not why they're first on the list. They just happen to be first on the list. So those are the only two that I've actually played through. Now, the reason why those are the only two I've played through, despite the fact that I've had the 20 Strong series for at least a few months, I dare say a year, the reason why I've only played through just Solar Sentinels and most recently Tanglewood Gold, because that just recently came out, was mainly because I didn't like the feeling of what I felt when I first played Solar Sentinels, which was the intro one that I played. I like the idea of having the dice system. I like the idea of kind of doing the things, going through and just, chucking some dice, seeing how you did, and then kind of trying to mitigate losses and stuff like that. But it just didn't feel good. I bounced off it pretty hard when I played Solar Sentinels. So I originally had just this, and then I went later on and got these two because I just wanted to finish the set and call it a day. So that's how that all kind of started. And then most recently, I was at the board game store with my partner, and I was like, "Oh man, look, I didn't realize this was out." So I just went on ahead and bought all of it because my friend in the local game store had them all. So $90 later, here I am with the next iteration of the 20 Strong series, and I wanted to try to give it a secondary shot. So the reason why I wanted to give it a secondary shot is because I did sit down and play through, just learned and played through the Tanglewood Gold, and I kind of enjoyed my experience going through that. I felt like the power level growing. I was, oh yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'm doing good stuff. And that could have been maybe my dice were dicing. That could have been maybe I actually sat down and gave it a chance. I don't really know. I know there's some pretty, I don't want to say there's some diehard fans of 20 Strong, but there are some people who put 20 Strong in higher regards than I would personally. But I will say that if I'm to give the series just kind of its fair shake, I think it's important to kind of dissect and understand where I started from. And oh, sorry, yes, I'm also, like I said, I'm on Twitch here, so we've got some Twitch chat, and it says, sorry, there's a Twitch comment from Chai Doodle. It says they were watching my video earlier, and it says the Yaga should rhythm with Baga. Okay, Baba Yaga, got it, because I was saying Baba Yaga. Okay, sure. The proper pronunciation of this expansion, the Baba, sorry. Baba Yaga? Okay, sure. Right. Sorry. I'll figure that out more later. I'll go Google and get the proper pronunciations. But But yes, I am live streaming on Twitch, so if you guys want to watch me on Twitch, feel free to check me out there, like I said before. But going back into what I was talking about the series is I kind of played this, I felt good, I felt like I was getting like a nice little power growth, and I felt like I was, just kind of giving it a fair shake. So I think it's really important to just kind of sit down and just think about, okay, why is it that the series bounced off of me? And then I'm going to try to give it a fair chance by playing through, or attempting to play through each one. And for those who don't know, behind the scenes, the way this works for me is that I'll try to do 1 to 2 playthroughs off camera. I might live stream those, but it won't be a part of the videos that you actually see. And then I'll actually do a playthrough on camera, where you actually see the final video. So, and I try to do that with all the games that I have, because I'm notorious in my friends group for like having a rule wrong. I even have a playthrough, if you guys want to know, Rolling Heights. My Rolling Heights playthrough, I did do a rule wrong that entire game that really changed the entire trajectory of the game. I'll let the video up because somebody made a comment. I just pinned the comment because it was important to note that. And the rulebook clearly says that you only roll 10 at a time, but that's neither here nor there. The main thing is that I just want to kind of get the rules right, give it a fair shake, check the forums, try to get clarifications where I find I need to get clarifications, so I can try to come and do a video to where I'm actually playing through the proper game and getting the proper experience, to make sure that I'm, giving us kind of the best showing of what 20 Strong has to show. Now, that is important to note because when I was trying to learn how to play Tanglewood Gold, there's apparently a lot of people who have video playthroughs already, and I started playing through just trying to use the rulebook, and it was a little bit of a struggle to get through. I had to rewrap my brain around the fact that I needed to read 2 rulebooks because I forgot how the 20 Strong series worked. But I needed to read 2 rulebooks to basically understand the 20 Strong baseline rules plus the Tanglewood Gold extra rules. And that goes a super long way to say that it took me a while to kind of get that together. And then I finally, in the middle of my first test playthrough, I pulled up a video of somebody playing through, and I learned a rule or 2 faster. I was on the right track, I just wasn't there yet. But I learned a rule or 2 faster, and I was able to get through it. So that goes a long way to say that there's a lot of people who have a lot of videos about doing the playthrough series. This is one person who's like already, done a full campaign run and shown all videos, and I commend them for that. I forget what the channel was, but check it on YouTube, you'll find it. It's a lot of 20 Strong stuff out there, especially for the Tanglewood stuff. But for me, in my own personal perspective, I want to see if this series is something that I would actually sit down and enjoy. And I mentioned before that the Tanglewood Gold experience was pretty fun. I did go back and relearn and play through Solar Sentinels, and once I kind of got the groove of how things are supposed to flow, it felt a lot better than I recall the first time me playing the series was. So this is me, again, just saying, I'm kind of revisiting the series. I'm not expecting much. My expectations are not necessarily low, they're medium, mostly because I do want to try to like the game enough. I hope I end up liking the game enough to try and do the full campaign playthrough, which for those who don't know, the full campaign playthrough is using the Tanglewood 20 Strong series, and you essentially will be playing through the Baba Yaga, or Baba Yaga, is that right? It says the Yaga should rhyme with Baga. Okay, Baba Yaga. Sure, I'll just call it that. But you essentially play through a series of games. You'll play through, I think you play through Gold, then White, then Red, and then you try to defeat the main boss. And you play as one character. You play through the whole thing. I think the video series that I watched, the person play through, they said that it kind of would have been cool to be able to switch characters between episodes. But I'll see if I had the same opinion. I feel like I'll have the same opinion because I kind of like variety in my games too. But at any rate, I want to like the game series enough to be able to play through the campaign. But I'm not going to do that until I go back and properly play through these ones to see if it's worth it. I know already of the 20 Strong showings that Victorium was one of the better showings according to a lot of people's perspective on things. Solar Sentinels was a lot of hit and miss from people's comments I've seen in the forums. It's like it kind of bounced off at 2. And then Too Many Bones is kind of middle of the road. So I have an idea of, all right, I'm gonna at least try to make it through Victorium is what I'm trying to say. Because I want to see if I can build up. Solar Sentinels, I enjoyed it enough to kind of do the series. And then Too Many Bones, we'll see how I enjoy that one. I might even try to get my friend who has almost all of Too Many Bones and see if I can get him to sit down and do a playthrough of it to see how similar it is for him for playing Too Many Bones. I played Too Many Bones myself maybe 4 times with him and all of his stuff. And I think I played Patches every single time. No, I played Patches the first 2 times. I think I might have only played 3 times. Patches the first 2 times, and the 3rd time I think I played the person who had the little robots that walked around, or the machines. I forgot his name. Tinker or something like that. But at any rate, that's not relevant. What's relevant here is that I have it, and I want somebody who has a deep love for Too Many Bones to sit down and play it too. So we'll see if I can get him to come out and do a playthrough, like a guest playthrough or something, because it's a solo game. At any rate, that's the starting point. So the starting point is I did not have a good opinion of 20 Strong to begin with. I bounced off of it. If I had to give it a rating based on my previous understanding of how the game flowed, I would give it a strong 5 out of 10, which is not good. For context, I think I'm trying to think of a recent game that I played. Railroad Tiles Lakes expansion. So if you watch my series on the Railroad Tiles series, if you haven't, if you watch the series on the Railroad Tiles series, you know what I'm talking about. But if you have not, there's 8 expansions for Railroad Tiles, which is a different game, and the highest, the expansion that I ranked the highest in that particular series was 8.5, and that was Monuments. And the one I ranked the lowest was 5.5, and that was Lakes, with the understanding that 5.5 was pretty low for me. So that gives context for letting you all know that me rating 20 Strong series initially as like a 5 out of 10 on a good day, a strong 5, basically means that it's something that I probably wouldn't actively put it on my table. So after going back and doing a playthrough and kind of, just playing through Soul of Sentinels, is kind of rolling with the punches. Yeah, dice rolls can sometimes be bad, but there's enough mitigation there to give you encouragement to keep going. After doing my secondary playthroughs recently, and by recent I mean over the last 2 or 3 days here, those playthroughs were pretty positive. I think just based on solely on my recent playthroughs of Soul of Sentinels, I would give the game a rating of a 7. A weak 7, if you will, a weak 7. So that's definitely a huge far cry. Or sorry, that's not a huge far cry. Sorry, that is a far cry from the previous rating that I gave it of 5. So that goes a long way to say that I feel like it might be good enough for me to sit down and do a playthrough. It might be worth the time, worth the investment, and I'll get to finally play through hopefully all of the 20 Strong stuff that I have. And also, it's nice to know that I can do 2 games. Well, I'm not going to, but I could do me play, because it's all one player. I can play one player on my side and let somebody else play one player on their side. Although I do think there's a 2-player mode for Solar Sentinels, I don't think there's a 2-player mode for the rest of them though. So take that however you will. At any rate, that is the general gist of where my mindset is starting off on this. Where I think is going to go is I think my opinion is going to improve overall of the entire series. I think I'm still going to have my gripes about the lack of mitigation that exists, because it's all pure dice games with mitigation. So the amount of mitigation that the dice will have, the amount of mitigation that the rules allow will probably determine how much I enjoy the game. So we'll see as the experiences come by. But yeah, all right. And also, this is an excuse for me to put all the 20 Strong stuff on the table so I can just talk about it endlessly while you guys listen to my voice and this background music that I have that's turned up way too loud for some reason. Okay, and then also, I can go ahead and talk storage solution here. So these boxes are all empty. So you all know me, I have my storage solution at some point. So I'm just gonna zoom out here and bring up the GameGenic token layer, I think that's what it's called. So the GameGenic token layer is what I have my stuff stored in. I will say that Chip Theory, they have their own. Chip Theory is the designer of this game, or the publisher of this game. They do have their own storage solution for the 20 Strong series. I think that's much more worth your money. Even their big one, which I think it's a $60 purchase. This is a $90 purchase. I think $80 when I got it, but $90 purchase, not worth it. Too expensive, especially for a thing that's just a glorified box that holds your game. It does have a dice trail on top. That's pretty nice, but that's really about it. All right, anyway. So going back into, I'm talking about the storage solution here. This is a GameGenic token layer. I think it's token layer plus or something like that. And what I have stored inside of here is actually 3 different series. So I have the 20 Strong series all stored here. And then I have the Kinfire Delve, which I should probably do a playthrough of those too. Yeah, I'll probably do a playthrough of those too. And then I have all the rule sheets that are over here. And I also have the Iron Curtain in here because it just fits. Iron Curtain is just like 8 or 12 cards. Actually, where are the cards? Oh, I think I put them in the side, didn't I? Yeah, they're down here. Yeah, it's just a few cards and some tokens and stuff, so I can play that game. It's a nice 2-player game. I'd recommend it. Anyway, this is all just me showing that this is how everything's stored, and I will get a different angle here in a second. I'm just trying to get this to be less. Okay, all right, well, never mind. But as you can see there, I got all my stuff. So I also labeled everything because I got a label printer. So why not? If you're gonna bling out things, might as well bling it out with labels, right? So I have my my stuff there. Everything's in plastic card, so I did not sleeve the 20 Strong series. I did sleeve the Kinfire Delve series, which this video is not about, but I did, and also labeled the boxes here for the characters you play. So lots of game inside this one box. That's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to put it all there, so I could play all the 20 Strong, which is a nice solo game, and the Kinfire Delve, which is also a nice solo game. There's also these side compartments here that hold stuff. So this side compartment holds the Tanglewood stuff. So this is all the dice, the little chip thing. And this one down here holds the stuff for the previous one, the first 20 Strong series. So just the same things. And then over here, since we're doing a tour of the box for some reason. And then over here, we have all the dice for Kinfire Delve and all the tokens. And then down here, I showed you earlier, we have the Iron Curtain stuff. Okay. All right, but like I said, the main reason why I'm showing all this is because it has a dice tray. Yeah, look at that, cool dice tray. The 20 Strong official one from Chip Theory does not have a dice tray built into it, but they do have a carrier that does have a dice tray. I say dice tray in air quotes because the dice tray is very small. Actually, I think I have an equivalent. One second, let me see if I can find this thing, because I think it's a dice tray built into the top of it too, technically. But when I say the dice tray is not good, I mean the dice tray is not good. Let's see. Is it in here? I just put it away. And I have no clue where I put it away at. All right. Well, this is what happens when you clean up. You never know where things are. In the middle of a video, trying to find a thing. Hey guys, here's this really cool thing that I found. You can't find it at all. No, watch, as soon as I cut off the video, it's gonna be right there in front of me. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Okay. Right, I actually don't know where it's at, so that's a little disappointing. Oh, I found it. Haha. All I had to do was talk junk about it. All right, sorry. So this is a different thing. This is another thing by GameGenic, but it is similar to, and if you told me that Chip Theory was reaching out to GameGenic to get their stuff public or get their stuff built, I believe you, because I think it's basically the same language. So this is not the exact same one that Chip Theory has, and this is not an endorsed video. This is not a sponsored video is what I'm trying to say. I'm just talking about stuff that I have here. But this is the GameGenic token tower. I don't know what they call this thing. It has magnets apparently, and I purchased it because I have no financial self-control apparently. But look, but look, it has magnets. Yeah, look at that. Isn't it cool? Isn't that cool? Oh, sorry. In Twitch chat, I'm being called out for doing hidden ad, sneaky ad. This is a sus ad. But the main reason why I was talking about this is because this has the same dice tray that the 20 Strong official box has, which this is not a dice tray. It's very difficult to convince me that this is a dice tray. This is a container that you can put dice in. This is not a tray for dice. And I just want to throw the comparison there because it's so narrow, and I don't know how this turned out to be a review for this. Oh, you can't see that. Oh, one second. Let me short. Here you go. Sorry. It's difficult to like kind of like emphasize how small this is. I'm gonna try to throw some of the 20 Strong dice inside of it, so we can kind of see that. But I'm trying to make the argument that the the 20 Strong small portable carrier that they have, I think is not a good idea to purchase. So take that however you will. Chip Theory, I appreciate you for doing what you're doing, but especially since I know that the size of the dice tray that it comes with is this. This is not a dice tray. So let's just, oh jeez, got dice going everywhere. I'm gonna roll these dice right here inside of this, and yeah, it's sufficient for throwing your dice and make sure they don't fly everywhere. Sure, but I mean a true dice tray is like, yeah, like you get some run, you get some roll, you know, you get bounce against something. So that goes a long way to say that I wouldn't recommend that one particularly. So a question in Twitch chat from Chai Doodle there is, Could it be a good travel dice tray? In a pinch, it is. I don't want to be too persnickety with my statements here. This is definitely passable, but like if you have space and a table to kind of roll your dice on, it's probably better if you do that unless you really need to mute something. I guess the hardest thing is because this edge here is very tall relative to the amount of width of this tray. You can solve that problem just by rotating and throwing your dice this way and give yourself a little bit more throw, but it still doesn't feel good. It still does not feel good. Like this feels good. It feels like I'm rolling into something. This one feels like I'm trying to like hit a target, and if I miss, it doesn't roll in the dice tray. So again, I'm exaggerating a lot and I'm complaining a lot about a thing that's not really relevant, because at the end of the day, it holds your dice and makes sure they don't fly off the place, so it's sufficient enough. And I mentioned before that the 20 strong official one is not this. So I don't know if the 20 strong one is maybe slightly bigger, because if it is, then it's probably a good idea. But I do know for this one, it's like this is very small and compact, and I appreciate the small and compactness. I just don't appreciate the fact that the dice tray is very not large. Anyway, okay. Again, I didn't intend for this to be a review of product placement in the middle of our videos here. But all this goes a super long way to say that this is where my 20 strong stuff lives. I wanted to show that off in one video or two. And then also the 20 strong series, I'm going to try to do a playthrough of those games, and we'll see various videos throughout time. Again, I'm not going to make a separate series for it because I don't think I'll make it through the series. I think I'll probably end up stopping once I get to the Tanglewood series. So I'll play through the original 20 strong and maybe not make it through the Tanglewood, because the Tanglewood stuff was fun, but it felt very repetitive at a certain point. The Tanglewood Gold specifically. And from what I hear about Tanglewood White, that one's not that good. And from what I hear about Tanglewood Red, that one is fun, but your mileage may vary. So yeah, I'm going in with, again, I'm trying to be as neutral and as like reasonable as possible with my expectations, but my expectations are kind of pseudo set. What's really going to surprise me probably is going to be Victorium, because I've never played Victorium, the actual standalone game, the big brother, the giant brother of the series. But I have heard people say that this one's the most unique out of all of the original 20 strong stuff. And also there's a Cloudspire one coming up and a Nemesis one coming up. I'm excited about those. Not so much the Nemesis one, but the Cloudspire one I'm excited about, because Cloudspire is one of the few chip theory games that I really want to play, but I do not want to buy it. As I say, I really want to play, but I will not pay. I do not want to pay the chip theory tax, which is like the cool mini or not tax. Oh man, talk about old school stuff, huh? R.I.P. chip theory, or not chip theory. R.I.P. Cool mini or not. Anyway, so this is a long rambly video for me talking about my expectations for the 20 strong series and kind of setting up for the series. So if you see videos sprinkled throughout the small box big game videos, then you'll know that I'm just still trying to evaluate and play through the series. I can't make any promises. I'm going to do all these back to back in the series, so they might be spread out. So my apologies ahead of time. And maybe if I do make it through every single one of them, I'll make its own separate playlist. Like I said, I wasn't going to do. But yeah, only the future will tell. Oh, I also have this dice tray, or this dice tower, this crystal dice tower, which is very frustrating. So this is another rant again. Not to talk about random products, but GameGenic, get your stuff together. Sorry, this is the crystal tower from GameGenic. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this tower works really well for dice of a certain size, and the 20 strong dice are just cutting that edge, just hitting that edge of too big. Just hitting that edge of being able to fit. So sometimes when you throw in a bunch of dice inside of here, they'll get stuck pretty easily, and the size of the 20 strong dice do not help. So there are some smaller dice games like One Deck Dungeon, for instance. Those dice flow through this perfectly. So if you have like One Deck Dungeon, which has a smaller size dice, that one flows through this perfectly, but otherwise, it's a bit of a pain. I'm gonna still use it because it makes a clickety clackety sound that sounds really nice, but I'm not gonna like it because it's gonna get stuck every once in a while. I'm gonna be upset about that. I have my backup dice tower right here. Just again, random. Oh, you can't even see that. Just random stuff I have laying around. All right, let me go and cut this video before I continue to show you guys my board game room. Okay, so conclusion. I'm going to play through the 20 strong series. It bounced off of me initially. I don't have I have medium hopes for things. I did not originally have high hopes for me doing a full series on this. Because of how I bounced off of the 20 strong series originally after playing Solar Sentinels. I do know that Victorium is regarded as probably the best in the original series from a number of people, And I also know that from the Tanglewood experience that I've had so far with Gold, that I did enjoy that experience enough to just revisit the series. So I have high hopes that I'll be able to make it through the entire series. I have medium hopes that my opinion will change on me liking the game or not. I might just kind of grit my teeth and struggle through it. But ultimately, you guys will have more videos. And isn't that what we're all here for? Just more videos? Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop rambling there. Thank you all very much for watching. Look out for the series as it comes along. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope this was informative. And as always, I will see you all whenever.